reason you still feel lost, even though you're trying your best. You ever have those days where you're doing everything right? You're waking up early, reading the books, hitting the gym, staying consistent. But deep down, something still feels off? Like you're moving, but not moving forward. You're trying your best. You're doing what everyone says you're supposed to do. But somehow you still feel lost. That's not laziness. That's not lack of motivation. That's something deeper. And today, we're going to talk about why it's happening and what you can do right now to finally find direction that feels real, not fake progress. But before we go in, listen. If videos like this hit you, if you're tired of pretending to have it all together while you're falling apart quietly, subscribe to LockInMode, like this video, and drop a comment that says, "I'm done feeling lost." Because the more you engage, the more this message reaches someone else who needs to hear it today. All right, let's lock in. Section 1, the silent truth. Here's the brutal truth. Most people aren't lost because they don't have a goal. They're lost because their goals don't mean anything to them anymore. You were told to chase success, but whose definition are you chasing? You were told to be productive. But productive for what? You've turned life into a checklist. Wake up early, go to work, hit the gym, post your progress, repeat. But when you finally pause, even for a second, the silence hits you, and you start asking, why am I doing all this? That's the moment most people run from. So they drown it out with noise, new habits, new routines, new systems. But no system can fix direction if the compass itself is broken. You don't need more motivation. You need clarity. Section 2, the invisible pressure. Let's talk about pressure. You might not even realize it, but most of your actions are built around the fear of falling behind. You open social media and see someone your age buying a house, someone younger making millions, someone fitter, happier, further. And subconsciously, your brain says, I'm late. So you start sprinting without knowing the destination. And when you finally stop to breathe, you realize you've been running in circles. That's why you feel lost. Because your direction wasn't chosen by you. It was chosen by comparison. You were never meant to live your life trying to catch up to someone else's timeline. Section 3. Why your best feels empty. You're trying your best. I know. You're doing everything they told you to do. But the reason your best still feels like it's not enough is because deep down, you're measuring your effort by results you can't control. You're doing everything right, but you're expecting to feel fulfilled because of external wins, money, validation, progress, praise. Here's the catch. Your brain doesn't reward you for doing what matters. It rewards you for doing what's familiar. So even when you're doing meaningful things, studying, building, learning, your brain compares it to instant dopamine, scrolling, comfort, approval. The result? You feel lost even when you're growing, because growth is quiet, but your brain is addicted to noise. That's why people relapse into bad habits, not because they're weak, but because the silence of real growth feels lonely compared to the chaos of distraction. Section 4, the truth about purpose. Here's something no one tells you. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you build. You don't wake up one morning suddenly knowing what you're meant to do. You discover it piece by piece through trial, boredom, mistakes, and repetition. You find purpose by showing up, especially when it's not exciting. That's the hidden formula. Purpose doesn't reveal itself to the impatient, and the more you chase a feeling of certainty, the further you drift from the truth. That life is built on direction, not destination. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You just need to move honestly. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Section 5, the real fix. Let me break it down simply. 1. Stop chasing perfect plans. You don't need a 10-year map. You need your next step. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that aligns with who I want to become? That's direction. 2. Detach from outcomes. You don't need everything to go right to make progress. Focus on effort, not applause. 3. Choose silence over noise. The answers you're looking for won't appear while scrolling or comparing. They show up when you finally shut the world out and listen to yourself. 4. Let go of who you should be. You're not behind. You're just becoming. And becoming takes time. 5. Rebuild your identity. Stop saying, I'm lost. Start saying, I'm searching. Because one leads to despair, the other to discovery. Section 6, the shift. Here's the truth. You don't need to reinvent your entire life. You just need to make one honest change. To start acting like your time matters again. You might not see the destination yet, but if you can keep moving when no one's watching, if you can show up even when it's boring, if you can stay grounded when everything around you feels uncertain, you're already on your way. The lost don't stay lost forever. They just need to stop pretending they're found. And when you stop chasing the feeling of being enough and start living like you already are, that's when everything changes. Because what if, hear me out, you were never actually lost? What if you were just in the part of the journey where things are meant to be unclear? What if this confusion you're in right now isn't a punishment, but preparation? Section 7, the lock-in. Listen, everyone feels lost sometimes, even the people you look up to. The only difference is they didn't stop moving. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Don't open another tab. Don't scroll to the next video. Sit for 1 minute in silence and ask yourself this. What is one small thing I can do today that would make me proud tomorrow? Then do it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's small, because clarity isn't found. It's earned through action, reflection, and time. If this video hit you, if something in you finally understood why you've been feeling lost, then don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to LockInMode. Like this video if you're ready to stop wandering. And in the comments, write one thing you're changing today. Because when you share it, you're not just helping yourself. You're helping someone else realize they're not alone either. This is more than a channel. This is a mindset, a movement for people who are done drifting and ready to lock in. Welcome to LockInMode. Let's build,